RB Leipzig 0, Liverpool 2. Welcome to the Liverpool versus RB Leipzig first leg review, and it was good. It was really good in some ways as well. Obviously, the main thing that we're looking at here is the fact that we got a win, and I wasn't expecting a win. If you go back and look at my preview, I thought that we would get like at best or like a hoping for a 1-1 draw, getting a good away goal or something like that. But I felt that the way that RB Leipzig play, the way that Nagelsmann has them playing, the style of football that they play, that they would come at us probably like they did. They came at us like we went at them as well. They were coming at us, good passing moves, frenetic pace, high energy, high octane as well. And I felt that they would at least get a goal themselves. I felt in some ways, I don't want to say that we were fortunate that we didn't concede. We defended well, and Alisson did well in goal as well. Massive credit to Alisson. Alisson getting his 50th clean sheet for Liverpool. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant goalkeeper behind him 100%. No matter what mistakes he's made over the last couple of weeks, or the last two games, shall we say, if anything, fully behind him. And he was good last night. It was just exactly what you're expecting from Alisson as well. But in general, we played well, and it's actually reflected in the player ratings from the SofaScore website as well. Obviously, I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about how I thought about the game and why I'm not like absolutely like this is the best result ever. Absolutely fantastic game of football. You know, it was a good game of football for Liverpool, but there were reasons why it was a good game of football for Liverpool, and it's not being negative, and it's not taking any positives away because this could be positive momentum as well for Liverpool. But let's go in and have a look at the lineups here that we had. We set up in a 4-3-3, which is pretty much, at the moment, while we don't have Fabinho in the midfield and stuff like that, we're not going to see a 4-2-3-1 or much change from that anyway. But to be fair, I felt that Mohamed Salah and Mane were actually a bit further forward, closer together in a lot of the attacking phases than Bobby Firmino was, but we expect that from Firmino. Drops back quite a lot to pick up the ball and move it forward. Most of our players have got high ratings. Gini Wijnaldum not so much, but even so, Thiago was really good in this game as well. Obviously, Kabak has come in for some high praise as well, and we'll go in and look at player statistics, which is one that I haven't really explored during these videos on this website with you guys as well. But Kabak, for me, was just it was a really good performance. Nice, solid performance from him. Calm. I felt that he was unfortunate to be involved with the Leicester game and what happened in that game to him and between him and Alisson as well. If I'm looking at RB Leipzig, we'll go in and look at these guys first of all. If I'm looking at them, I think the one thing that they did wrong was that they were naive about how high they played their line, their defensive line. You can play that high line for sure, but every single one of your players has to be on it. We as a fan base and also a club, especially since Klopp has come in, we know what it's like playing with a high line, and when it works, it's great. When it doesn't work, which we've seen quite a lot of this season, we've seen our high line actually drop back a little bit, well, a little bit anyway, not a great deal, but we've seen when it doesn't work, you get unstuck very, very quickly. It wasn't necessarily the high line that did it for RB Leipzig. The first goal that they gave, they literally gave away the first goal. A misplaced pass. The defender or whoever they were passing it to, I think it might have been Klosterman, couldn't react in time, or the ball was just not in the right path for him. Turns around, can't get to the ball quick enough, or can't turn quick enough to get the ball. It's straight in. It's on a plate for Mohamed Salah, and he slots it into the back of the net. Really nice, cool, calm finish, and his 24th goal of the season as well. Fantastic. Fantastic numbers from Salah. Again, like 4 seasons in a row. Unbelievable player. The same thing for Mane's goal, though. Like, literally the exact same thing for Mane's goal. Ball over the top, and I think it was Mukiele, if that's how you say his name, or Mukiel. I'm not entirely sure how you say his name. Fell over, and then the defender that's behind him, it might have been Upamecano at this point, is trying to chase Sadio Mane down, but it's gone. It's gone too far past, and it's down to the goalkeeper to go the right way. I felt that Mane, I was so happy to see Mane back on the score sheet Really, really happy for him as well. To see him back on the score sheet and the way he sort of like opened his body up as if he was going to go into the far corner, but actually buried it near corner. You could see it. If you go back and watch the replays of the goal, you see it in Gulashi's face, where when he goes near, you can see him go, ah, and you know he's probably preparing for him to go over the other side, but he actually goes near post. Two good goals. If we look at the stats, fairly similar in terms of possession. If I go to all, um, they had more shots than us, less on target. They had some that were 8 shots off target, 2 blocked shots, which I think comes down to either defending or Allison has made some saves as well. They did have more corners. They had more offsides as well. There's a lot of people that are turning around saying that Leipzig played better than us, and there's a lot of claims sometimes that managers make when they've been playing us and we've won a game. Like I think Mourinho was the last one. The 2 times we played Tottenham this season and beaten them both times, Mourinho says that his team was the better team. Leipzig took the game to us. We took the game to them as well. It just so happened that when we caught them on the counter, we put our goals away. They made defensive mistakes. That could easily have happened to us. It can happen sometimes when a game's like that, it's end to end. Could easily have finished 0-0 as well. If the defences had held up, it might have just ended up being 0-0, and that would have just been how it was. But ended up, we got out of there, got the 2 goals, and we look at like things like stats and stuff like that. Fair play. Some of it's quite close. There's not much in it, to be honest. But player statistics, if we go and look at the defence, so we're looking just at defensive players here. Kabak, he attempted 4 tackles, made 4, and completed 4 tackles as well. His interception play was very, very good. 2 clearances as well. It wasn't. I don't know why dribbled past is a stat. I really don't. I just want to look at Liverpool players here as well. I don't know why dribbled past is a stat. Maybe it's only become a stat since when Pepe dribbled past Van Dijk, and that was like the only good thing that he did at that point. I think it was last season or whatever it was. Anyway, who cares? Everybody else in the defense played really, really well, but Kabak stood out because it wasn't just necessarily his interceptions and his tackles were good, but his aerial play was very, very good as well. And that was one of the things that people were saying. Aerially is very, very good. He's aerially dominant, and it's like, all right, that's cool. That's a good trait to have, definitely. And he was very good in that respect as well. So I was really, really pleased for him. Someone 20 years old. He's come from Schalke. He's come to Liverpool. He's on loan at the moment. We've got an option to buy at the end of the season. If he puts more performances together like that, a bit more consistent as well, and obviously Premier League opposition, obviously at least one more Champions League game as well, then I'm positive about Kabak. I felt that was very good. I didn't like that Henderson started in the defence, but he played well as well. And that's all you can ask. And while we look at the lineups here, and obviously the stats here, no one's getting like a 9 or a 10 or anything like that. It was a very even performance by everybody, a very good, solid team performance, in my opinion. Gini Wijnaldum with a 6.6, I don't really think that really makes much difference. It makes him look like he's the worst player on the pitch, but he wasn't at all. He wasn't any of that. It was a complete unit, and I really, really enjoyed that, to be honest. I really did. Curtis Jones, what a talent. And not just a talent, but what a hard worker. Like, you can have players that have the talent and don't have the hard work, or you can have someone who has the hard work but doesn't necessarily have the talent. It's got a very, very good combination of both. Someone said today, and I'm not saying that this is what I think, but someone said today he's got like a work rate similar to James Milner, but could end up with like a creativity of like a Coutinho or someone like that. I'm not making those comparisons because Curtis Jones is his own player, but he was very, very good, and he's becoming a bit more influential. He's still very young himself. I think he's 19, if 19, 20 at the most, but I think he's 19. And I think if he can, keep developing how he is, getting the chances that he is, probably the biggest positive about Jordan Henderson playing at centre back right now is we're seeing much more of Curtis Jones, which we might not. Let's be honest. If Henderson's back in midfield and then you've got Thiago and Gini Wijnaldum, and then maybe Fabinho's coming back in, maybe we wouldn't be seeing so much of Curtis Jones. That's a real possibility. So if anything, that's massive, positivity coming out with Curtis Jones playing in midfield, and he's getting a lot of game time at the moment, and he's playing well. He's playing well, and we love to see it when you see your academy guys coming through. You love to see it. You love to see them playing well in the Champions League as well. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I'm happy with that performance. What does it mean moving forward? Well, what it means moving forward is that we don't come up against teams like RB Leipzig week in, week out. We're going to come up against teams that are going to sit back off us. They're going to let us have the ball. And again, we're going to have to try and break them down and score goals. What I'm hoping that this will do, because we've got Everton at the weekend on Saturday at 5:30, what I'm hoping this will do for the rest of the week is give everybody a little bit of a boost, give them that confidence of not only scoring 2 good goals against decent opposition as well. I remember it was actually a 3-2 result that RB Leipzig had against Man United, which knocked them out into the Europa League. This is a good opposition, but they play very openly. So it's literally one of those games where it could have gone one of each ways. In my opinion, and I'll be totally honest with you, I don't know whether this lineup that we've got on the screen here for RB Leipzig is that their like number 1 starting 11. Is that who they would have, or would we be seeing like Konate, who I know he's an injury-prone defender for these guys, but would he be more of a starter alongside Upamecano? I don't know. Someone would have to let me know. Poulsen, who's the big centre forward, they brought him on, didn't really have an effect on the game. Hee-Chan Huang also came on late on. He's a pacey forward, but again, didn't really change a lot up for them. If this is their strongest 11, they cannot come into the second leg playing like they did against us in this one, because the same thing will happen. They will create chances, but we'll create chances as well. Thank you for refreshing. I totally didn't ask for that. But yeah, like I don't know. They can't come like that into the second leg as well. Obviously, they got a lot of yellow cards. There was some iffy fouls in there from these guys last night that were a little bit on the edge, in some ways of picking up second yellows, not straight reds, but second yellows as well. But no, honestly, overall, you can't be anything but happy with this result when people are, there's articles being written saying that RB Leipzig will be absolutely, they'll be chomping at the bit to get at Liverpool, who are in bad form. And let's be honest, we'd lost 3 in a row, like before this game. We'd lost 3 in a row. We're not feeling good. We've conceded goals. We conceded a fair few goals as well. 4 against City, 3 against Leicester. Things weren't looking up for us whatsoever. So to actually get the result, get a 2-0, and get the clean sheet, massive, absolutely massive for Liverpool. So I'm honestly, I'm very, very pleased, very, very pleased. We've got Everton at the weekend, big, big, big game, especially after the Merseyside derby we had last time with Virgil van Dijk getting injured. Thiago got injured in that game as well. Virgil van Dijk being out for the season. Thiago was out for quite a while as well, and it took ages to come back. We'll see what happens in that game as well. But I'm very, very happy about what happened in this game. But let me know what you think in the comments below, because it was pleasing to sacrifice sleep, for a job like mine, and probably many others as well. Like where I'm getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It actually is just a small sacrifice of sleep and stuff like that to watch our team, support our team, and for them to pull out a result like that. I'm pleased. I'm pleased. It's worth it when you do that, and and then you can go to work with a smile on your face, and that's what it's all about, really. In it now, it's all about like our team, getting behind the team, and us. Hopefully we can use this as a platform moving forward. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do feel free to hit that subscribe button and like the video if you can, and do obviously feel free to get your comments in the comment section below as well. Do take care of yourselves. Have a very wonderful day on this day, which is Wednesday, and I will catch you later.